Flower Aloha shirt there, Sarah.
She doesn't like my party dad shirt. Gina says with my new haircut today that I'm Joe Cool.
Uh-huh.
I'm Joe Cool.
You are Joe Cool, bud.
Thank you. Sarah needs to understand and needs to recognize.
Uh-huh. She recognizes.
Good. You better recognize.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I got a little tough there. I'm sorry.
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
Yet again, a story as old as time, a movie that has been on and off again, our schedule for a few months. We're finally here to talk about it, The Iron Claw. Eric, how the hell you doing?
Another A24 film, by the way. Can I ask, is there any such thing as a fun, happy wrestling movie? This seems to be so like Iron Claw or The Wrestler, Darren Aronofsky, or Beyond the Mat, which is more of a documentary, or what's that Jake the Snake one? It's all of these. Is the life of a wrestler just depressing?
I'm Googling it right now, but there's a David Arquette wrestling movie that's amazing.
That
That's
would
hilarious.
be David Arquette, yes.
Because he was in WCW. It was absolutely Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, back when WCW was huge and it was beating WWE for 83 weeks, and Dennis Rodman was on there, Karl Malone was on WCW, and David Arquette was a WCW champion.
Yeah, oh, good for him.
So there you go. No, yeah, you're right. I was instantly thinking The Wrestler about this, or that Jake the Snake Roberts, or there's also that documentary called Beyond the Mat.
Yeah.
That came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, there's not a lot of good stories about wrestlers until Hulk Hogan dies and his movie comes out.
Well, I don't know, man. They're gonna include all of his, because his family is quite messed up, right?
Well, they're gonna do it, right? They're gonna walk the line. They're gonna Johnny Cash it, right? So they're gonna see him. Wrong kid died, right? And you're right, and then his rise to fame, right? That's what it's gonna be. But no, Iron Claw. I know of the Von Fritz family. I am not an uber fan of the
Von Erich.
It's Von Fritz, I thought.
No, it's the Von Erich family, and
they're Von Fritz. All right.
Fritz is the dad's name, Fritz Von Erich.
That's right, Fritz Von Erich. Yes, Von Erich. No, but I just
last name is Adkitson is the birth name.
I will say this very, very bluntly, because a long time ago I did a wrestling show with Ed back in the day. Right, that's kind of like a sister show of us, right?
Yep.
And Ed and I were arguing at the time, because I will give Ed this. Ed is a wrestling purist. Like, he goes all the way back to the 60s, right?
Okay.
I'm the guy that doesn't care until the mid-90s.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like the Heartbreak Kid time, Stone Cold Steve Austin time, the Monday Night War, WCW, NWO. That's what I really know my knowledge and care about. So I've heard of this family, but I knew nothing about them. Sure. Nothing about who these guys were.
Now,
so where are you? Are you me, or are you kind of like Ed in a way?
I got it. No. I had a small glimpse of it only because my cousins were into it. So we're talking early 90s, and I actually did some research here because I am almost like positive that my first show, because I had two older cousins. I have a few other older cousins, but two older guy cousins who were like big into wrestling, and they were in this huge kind of surge when it was really taken off. When it wasn't so much storylines, which it was still there, but it was all performance, right? Where you still had Undertaker doing performance, Hulk Hogan doing performance, where Macho Man Randy Savage, baby, Roddy Piper, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, all these guys were doing the acts. And I think what you had said in the mid-90s is when, to me at least, the acts became a bit more soap opera because they started to do stories. They started to bring the cameras into the halls, into the locker rooms, and they started to really build up backstory to a lot of these. And I remember, who was the guy that body slammed Yokozuna? I remember that being a big deal.
Hulk Hogan.
I thought it was. Oh yeah, you're right. Didn't he break his back or something doing that too?
I don't know, but he's not even Japanese. He's Samoan.
I remember though, and I had to look it up. That one we went. My cousins took us to a wrestling match, and it was either one of these two. It was either the WWF Survivor Series 1991, the Gravest Challenge, or it was a house show in at the Palace of Auburn Hills. So it was either the one at Joe Louis or Palace. I think it was the Palace.
Yeah, Survivor Series would be an expensive ticket.
Yeah, I just remember that because I've been to Joe Louis so many different times. RIP, by the way, Joe Louis Arena. That I would have remembered it a bit more, and I think the Palace is just a bit more. Anyway, the reason why I bring it up is because I know that I have seen the Texas tornado.
Oh,
I remember
really?
him calling out, yeah, because I remember that the act that they were doing where he was kind of, when he took a hit, he kind of he got oversold it. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. He
Right.
would
Ric Flair did.
yeah, he would oversell a lot of his the hits and stuff like that too. And I think he lost that one, but either way, I do remember the Texas tornado. I remember it just because after that, in the like days after, weeks after the playground, there was just the name of it kind of rung a bell. And I didn't realize until after I was doing research for this movie that Kerry Von Erich went by the name Texas Tornado. So I think there's a good chance that
That you saw
that I
on there.
saw Kerry Von Erich in the ring.
Now, I don't want to harp on this, but you and I definitely probably are on the same camp. I actually do like the soap opera stuff. I actually do like the storylines because I find the wrestling to be more entertaining, more at stakes. Like I like WWE now, right? Triple H is now in charge of it. Vince McMahon is now out, and I like storylines because it is a soap opera. You know when you're turning it on, you're watching WWE Dawson's Creek. You get it, right?
Oh yeah.
But that storyline, you're invested. If it's a good story for you, you're invested into it. So therefore, you want to see what the outcome is of that storyline, which I get it. But that's kind of who I am. I'm shocked that I'm saying this. Zac Efron can act.
He did a very good job in this movie, man. I was actually kind of surprised in this too. You were telling me that I could possibly, you didn't know how I was going to take this movie. If I was going to
Right.
like it or hate it. And
yeah,
this movie did seem very much like a love letter.
Really? Okay.
To me, it seemed like the like almost like the director, like you kind of have to be a big fan of wrestling to know about this family and to kind of do them right a little bit. It seemed like he knew the story and eased into it a bit. Although I did notice that they left one of the brothers out in real life.
Yeah,
That
I
there
googled it.
Yeah, there were 6 brothers and not 5 or 4 in this movie, and then the old eldest brother died when he was what, 5 or 6 or something like that.
Right. We'll talk about that last scene that made me go. Ugh.
That was a
But
touching scene, but yeah, I seem to remember hearing this guy talk about this movie on a podcast too. I'm trying to think of, I was trying to remember which one I was trying to look it up, and I couldn't think of it. But just going basically that I think he just became a fan when he was doing the legwork before making this movie, or maybe he always was a fan of this and finally got to make the movie that he wanted. But yeah, I didn't really know much about them until this movie. I didn't know anything about them until this movie, really.
No, I didn't know much about him at all. I've heard some names, but I didn't know much. A24 is knocking it out of the park again, right? They're making quality movies. I think we said it before, but I think with this movie, maybe solidifies it that this is definitely the new Orion, right? Like this definitely an art house studio that's making quality film.
Yeah,
And
in
have they won their Oscar yet?
I'll Google that, but this movie seemed like it was award bait, kind of a
Yeah.
dramatic movie. But yeah, in a age where Hollywood is struggling for stories and contents, it seems like the bigger studios are just making sequel after sequel after sequel. We're getting another Toy Story. We're getting another Shrek, right? We're getting another damn Beetlejuice. They're just digging up the dead and just saying, we don't need to make new movies anymore. We can just make Minions. What number are they on right now? 4? With 3 Despicable Me movies on top of that, too?
No, 4 Despicable Me movies, 2 mini movies. I know this because I have an 8-year-old. So only reason why I know. No, I mean like A24 is kind of solidified it. I mean they are. I have never talked crap about A24. You know that. Now I know you and I remember a few years ago we kind of went blows a little bit with Green Knight, but I am an A24 fan. Like anytime A24 is mentioned, I have my interest. You know what I mean? Like you have it. I'm interested. Let's see what you got. Zac Efron, you and I were way too old when High School Musical came out, so I never saw that guy in High School Musical. My introduction, believe it or not, to Zac Efron was in Neighbors.
Okay.
Because I never, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't see anything he did. And then after Neighbors, I was like, that was hilarious, right? And then he was in Neighbors 2, which was a bit part, not a bit part, but he wasn't in it that much. And then he did what I thought he would do. He would go off and do Baywatch, which bombed, and he would start doing crap like that, right?
Yeah, just kind of babe movies, right?
Right. I mean, he needed to replace Jake Gyllenhaal in being Roadhouse, which Jake Gyllenhaal announced to making a sequel to, by the way.
Of course. Zac Efron has. There's another curse in Hollywood that I was saying that it is possible to be too good looking. Because if you're too good looking, then you kill yourself the chance of getting at roles because of you being too good looking. You are no longer believable in certain roles. You know, where Zac Efron can't go in and be like, "Oh, I'm just a down and out kind of guy." Just like, "What? You're gorgeous. Are you serious?" Like, no one's gonna believe that. But
Well, what's Brad Pitt's excuse? I mean,
Brad Pitt,
like,
he can
yeah,
sleaze it up and just be a douche, I guess, and maybe gain some weight. After we watched, what was that movie? Is it True Romance?
yeah, he's drunk, high on the couch.
Yeah, exactly. But it's challenging for some people like Zac Efron because you really have to pick and choose a lot of these roles. I think I was introduced to him at 17 again.
Yeah, I mean, like to be fair, I heard of the movies that he's done, like 17 Again and stuff, but I've never actually sat and watched until Neighbors.
All right, because a lot of it he did like Charlie St. Cloud. I've got his IMDb up right now, where it's a lot of it is just kind of he plays the good-looking guy.
Right, yeah, he's in those teeny bopper, movies that were not interesting to me at the time.
So because of that, what you can do is go from heartthrob movies to comedy, and then try to do like Baywatch or Dirty Grandpa, or Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. That was a fun one. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen that one, but I still wasn't a fan.
And then go from there to either doing more dramatic roles to try to get the resume going to make it seem that you can work. He can sing, right? He did The Greatest Showman. I don't know if he sang in High School Musical. I would imagine he kind of did, but
Never seen Greatest Showman. No, I mean, but now I'm interested, right? He's now doing the Robert Pattinson effect, right? Where he starts as this teen heartthrob, and he gets a little bit older, and the teens don't care, but he still has some of his fans, and now he's playing the dramatic roles.
Yeah, he did The Greatest Beer Run Ever, which was before this, which I think was loosely based on a true story, right? Yeah, it was an Apple film.
Oh, like it's on Apple Plus?
Yeah, an Apple original film with him and Russell Crowe. I think where it's about a guy who uh, brings his brings some war vets some beer or something like that, right? Greatest beer run ever. Yeah, his friends, childhood buddies are in the army while they're in fighting in Vietnam, and he goes to give them some beer.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, I've never even heard of that movie, but here we are with Iron Claw, and we have another good actor, right? I don't know his name. I've seen the first season, haven't seen anything else, but he's also co-starred with the dude from The Bear.
Yeah,
This guy.
Jeremy Allen White.
This guy's having a rise. I IMDb'd him during watching the movie on HBO Max. And I was like, oh, this guy, I've seen this guy from The Bear, obviously. And then I was like, I've seen him somewhere else, right? This guy's new, so to speak.
I've seen
This
him
guy's.
from Shameless because he was in
I've never seen
all
Shameless.
whatever 9 seasons of Shameless. He plays Lip, one of the favorite characters of the show. Shameless is a great show. I didn't want to like that show, but I ended up really liking it. Obviously, the last 2 seasons were just kind of like, okay, maybe this should have ended earlier. But
Right.
yeah, I enjoyed that movie.
Where do I know the dad? Who plays the dad? I've seen this actor.
Holt McCallan, whatever the hell. I know him from Mindhunter, the Netflix
Mm.
show.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a lot of other different stuff. He was in Fight Club, Nightmare Alley.
Who was he in Fight Club? Oh, wait a minute. No, yeah, he was in Fight Club. His name was Robert Paulson.
He played.
Yeah, okay.
He's credited as the mechanic. He's done
Yep.
a lot of voiceover work. He plays usually just like that kind of detective kind of guy. Gangster Squad. He plays a lot of these cops. Well, obviously you saw him as this role here. He plays like the intimidating kind of straight shooter type of guy, but he's been in a lot of different stuff.
Have you ever seen Jackson American Dream, the 4-hour Jackson movie that came out in the 90s? Michael Jackson family.
No. Oh, the TV?
The TV movie, Jackson's The American Dream?
Yeah, I think I know of it. I haven't seen all of it. Is that the one where Michael Jackson was going, "I'm ugly" because he's got a pimple?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Uh, Joe Jackson, right? That movie was so scandalous because that movie, finally showed that Joe Jackson was such a jerk, right? To what he did to his children, right?
Yeah.
And I've watched that movie 100 times. Like I believe it's on YouTube.
Okay.
But the dad in this movie reminds me 100% of Joe Jackson.
Good call. Yeah.
No beating, right? Because I didn't see him beat any of his kids, but he was more of a verbal abusive.
Yeah, psychological. He ranks the kids in front of their faces.
Right in front of him in the faces. He was like, now Tommy is number 1 and Jesse's number 2. I'm just pulling names. But you know
He
what I
says
mean?
like, now we all know Carrie's my favorite.
Carrie's my favorite.
Then Kevin, then David, and then Mike. But there's still room to change that. You guys can change that.
I know we're a PG-13 show, but this dad's an asshole. Like, I mean, from what I could tell from what the movie's telling me. Now, I can only judge the movie. I can't base off of real life, right? But this guy's a down and out wrestler who always thought that if he got the world championship, then everything will come great. Like the stars will be aligned. And he never got his dream. So then he imprints that on his children. And the wife in this movie, the actress could be a great actress, but no reason for her to be in this movie.
Yeah, she what's it? Maura Teeny. She's been in a lot as well too. She's in Twisters.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw her in the scene, she did fine, but I don't think the movie did her justice because she was just so. I mean, we see her pregnant in the first scene, and then after that, she doesn't speak hardly for the rest of the movie. She's just in the background, man.
Yeah, her and Lily James, who
Oh
plays
yeah.
who plays Zac Efron's wife. Where it seems like both these actresses are good in their own right, but almost like they had kind of like a how Amy Adams was in Brokeback Mountain.
Oh yes, yeah. Good
Where it's
call.
like just such a side role. It's just like really you brought him on just for that little bit, but
Right.
whatever. It's another name to put on the marquee.
So I am a little nerd a little bit when it comes to wrestling, but I wanted to bring this up for the show. But the beginning of this was the dad talking to the sons about how they want to get a world championship. Now, do you know, and if you don't, that's cool. I don't know if you do know or not, but do you know before Vince McMahon did what he did with WrestleMania that wrestling was in territories, kind of like the mob?
Yeah, I actually saw a
Okay.
map of this. I think it was on like Cool Guides on Reddit, or somebody was showing that really there were different associations, right? There were different groups that were, like you said, territorial, whether it be a state or like a tri-state, or just very much kind of like that, just recruiting and doing shows.
Right. Like Hulk Hogan is a WWE LF guy. So he would not go wrestle for NWA, as an example. That's more of a Southern brand,
Right.
right? And then WCW was a Southern brand, and this was Texas. This was like because the dad ends up co-owning or is the sole owner of this WCW. What do they call this? World
WCC.
WCC, World Class something wrestling.
Yeah.
Right, which what eventually what happens when WrestleMania happens in 1984 and it became so huge, Vince McMahon bought all these territories, and because he bought all these territories, he got all these wrestlers.
Yep.
So event and the Von Erichs are in the WWF Hall of Fame,
Yeah, good for them.
but they never wrestled for WWF, as far as I know.
Kerry didn't? Yeah.
Did he? Okay, which one's
Yeah.
Kerry's? Kerry Zac Efron,
Kerry is Jeremy Allen White, Texas Tornado.
and that is the brother. What happens in Japan, right?
No, that's David.
So the
Kerry's the guy. Yes, is the guy who loses his foot.
right, okay. So I'm just gonna get my gripe right off the bat. I know this is a movie. I know this is based off of reality, but the reason why I didn't know how you would take this or not is because I'm watching this movie and I do like wrestling, so I'm interested to learn the history. But my God, this was not walk the line. Like every freaking negative thing that you could have possibly imagine happening happens to this family. And it's like I got kind of sick of it. Like when the brother lost his foot, I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm kind of done with this movie. Like, why?
Yeah, it's not a feel-good story, and I understand that the director's choice to not put the sixth brother in this movie, it was because he said that all of all the six brothers, right? One, the first one, the youngest, dies when he was 5 after drowning because he got electrocuted and then fell into a puddle and drowned.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, right. 3 commits suicide.
Is that the one that the movie doesn't say he has autism, but he does?
He doesn't have autism. He his brain damage after having shoulder surgery and going into a coma. And then
No. Before that, before his surgery, he seemed kind of a little off.
I never got that take from him.
No?
I think you
Oh,
just
I
I think you're just judging him because of his haircut.
Yes, this is well, not only his haircut, but the way he spoke too, his eyes were kind of sunken. He kind of seemed a little tall with a little shrunk over. He didn't seem like the other brothers. All the other brothers were ripped and jacked up and muscular and sweaty and gorgeous. And he was us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he was a musician.
Okay.
From what I get from the movie
I stand by what I say.
from what I've seen in this movie and from what I've read, apparently he was more of the artistic brother. He didn't want anything to do with wrestling. He wanted to do music. He wanted to. He took an interest to painting, like his mother did. He just was a bit more of
Of an artist.
He didn't want to do anything for it, but as you saw, his dad really put the headlock, pun intended, into all of his sons to force them into becoming wrestlers.
I love how the dad got his way without showing that he gets his way because so the guy who's in the Bear, right?
Jeremy Allen White.
He's like varsity blues all-star football guy, and he's trying for the Olympics, but then the real life thing where we don't participate or whatever sometimes in the Olympics, right?
Yep.
And he has to come back home and they're building a fence. The dad's like, "Now, son, I don't want you to join wrestling, but and so I was like, "Yeah, Dad, I'll do it." I was like, "Man, you so wanted him to say
it's a family
yes.
business.
It's a family business." Whatever.
Yeah, because he was about to be an Olympian, and what was Jimmy Carter said that they weren't going to do the Olympics because Russia was hosting.
Something about Russia, yeah.
Russia, yep. And so he canceled that, losing Kerry's bid to do the disc
Right.
throwing.
So now he's going to wrestling. Zac Efron, we talked about in the beginning, but the movie follows him and how he is a decent wrestler, but there's one thing that he can't do is he cannot talk on the mic.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't have a presence.
He can't do it, but he has good skills. He was barefooted, and that was one of his things. Meets a girl, standard, biopic kind of movie, right? But then he keeps on getting passed up to where he wrestles Ric Flair. No, I'm sorry. He wrestles the current champion, which, my God, wrestlers back then. Whew. Have you ever watched wrestling documentaries where they talk like Stone Cold or Undertaker talks about hanging out with the guys from the 70s and 80s? Like these, like Stone Cold. Stone Cold has a great story, and I'm going to make it extremely short, but he's on Hot Ones. This was like 5 years ago. Stone Cold was on Hot Ones.
Uh-huh.
And his story was the greatest pre-match ritual was Jake the Snake Roberts from Stone Cold's point of view. He said Jake would come in 15 to 20 minutes before he had to go to the ring. He would just come in from the street. He would get into his gear.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He would have the snake in the bag on top of a dumpster or something, and he would drink a 6-pack of beer and smoke cigarettes. And then he would walk to what they call Gorilla, which is where all the production guys are.
Yeah.
Right? And he would take a drag of a cigarette, throw it on the ground, and walk out to the ring. And I'm telling you that because the guy that Zac Efron wrestles is like that. This guy's big, not in a good way. These guys are out of shape compared to these Von Erichs.
Man, well, yeah. And Jake the Snake story, if there's a story that was more tragic than the Von Erichs, it might be Jake the Snake, man.
Right. I mean, can you imagine that though, Eric? I mean, 6-pack of beer and smoking cigarettes and go out and do a wrestling match sometimes for half an hour?
Yeah, I don't. After hearing, I'm pretty sure it was Beyond the Mat, right? Just like what these wrestlers would do before and after the shows, where it really was nothing short of a rock show.
Right, and how Jake the Snake is still alive to this day, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's amazing, man.
I don't know, but so Zac Efron's downfall is that he has the charisma in the ring, but he doesn't have the mic skills, and he wrestles the champion to show that he has skill, and he should be the next guy to be champion. But then his brother, the brother goes to Japan. David comes in and he has the mic skills. He has everything that Zac Efron doesn't have, and he becomes champion.
Yeah. He gets his father's blessing. He becomes a new favorite.
Right.
And he's got the whole package, man. He can wrestle. He's doing the Iron Claw. He's doing
his dad, which Zac Efron doesn't do.
Yeah, not until later when he does it with Ric Flair. But yeah, which is more of an honor to kind of do that. But yeah, David seems to be more of the natural package here. He's got because all these guys they got the athletic gift, man. That's for sure.
They don't look like us. But question. So I didn't pause the movie because I kept on, just watching. I didn't really notice it, but. So, David, you said the guy who was in Japan?
Yep.
So, Zac Efron gets married, and then he goes to the restroom, and David's getting sick, too much to drink or whatever. It's assumed. Looks like there was blood in the toilet.
Yes.
Was there blood?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So
There was definitely blood in the toilet. Which, listen, if you're throwing up blood, that's I don't right. Anytime there's blood involved, you got to get that checked out.
right, and there it is. I don't think Zac Efron brings it up, does he?
To anyone, no, he says that you got to get help, but David
Right, right.
brushes it off, which it seems like Zac Efron, Kevin, right, is his name, says that to a few of his brothers, him and Carrie, where he's like, "You got to get help, man." And
Yeah, and they don't care.
it's just the time back then, right? It's like,
Right.
rub some dirt on it, get it going.
I threw up blood. It's fine, right? So I mean, he goes to Japan. David becomes the champion, but then allegedly he dies of a small intestine
Yeah,
bleeding thing, right?
yes.
Which I guess is extremely rare.
Yeah, I had to look it up. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher the name of it. Treatise and treaty whatever. It's a inflammation of the small intestine. And it's usually caused by food or drink contaminated with pathogenic microbes.
Which okay, interesting. Oof, I don't want to eat. God. The reason why I bring it up is because Mick Foley, you know him as Mankind
Oh yeah, Cactus Jack,
or
baby.
Dude Love. He has a book, multiple books, and I was googling, the story of this family, and I guess Mick Foley said that he died of a drug overdose because he was over in Japan when he died.
Sure.
So that's the alleged thing that he died. But I don't know though because I call it BS because the dude was in there throwing up blood, man.
Yeah, and here's the thing is that they've had a few different shots in this movie where it showed obviously some sort of substance being taken. There was needles, so obviously
Oh
like some
yeah.
sort of steroid. There he was snorting some prescription pills, which might have been just some painkillers, which is I'm sure very common in that world. But they didn't ever address it otherwise.
No, so that's why I don't know. And the reason why I'm not calling Mick Foley a liar, I'm saying from this movie's point of view, when you show blood around the toilet, you're telling us, the audience, that there's something wrong with him internally, not because of a drug.
And that's where I go back to saying this is not necessarily a love letter, but it really did feel like where again this director was trying to show this family in a sympathetic light to say
Oh yeah.
that yes it is tragic, but you should feel for them because they didn't ask for it. They were just another family just trying to do good by their father, just trying to make it, just trying to do the thing. And listen, I do feel bad. I feel bad for Mike for sure. I feel bad for Carrie. That's unfortunate for what happened to him and how he ended his life. I feel bad for that 5-year-old who we get to see once at the end of the movie. And even reading about the sixth brother, Chris is his name, who ends up shooting himself in the head with a 9 millimeter. I mean, feel bad for that too. I feel even worse for Zac Efron's character Kevin being the sole survivor of all of this.
He is the sole survivor, and he's still married to that woman too, by the way.
Yep, Pam.
Always got to marry a Pam. Question. So the brother that I accuse of having autism, very unprofessionally,
Mm-hmm.
he has no business in the ring. He gets messed up with his shoulder. He has surgery. He's kind of off. Did I go to the restroom? Because the last time I saw this guy, he writes a note and the camera shows him walking away, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh,
Like was there a body? Did we see what he did?
yeah. He swallowed a bottle of pills and chased it with some beer.
Oh, so then but he went off walking after that,
Yeah,
right?
he went off walking in just whatever the woods, and we see this after Carrie, who now has his foot amputated, so he's
Right.
got his right foot cut off, and he's still trying to wrestle, and so he and his brother Kevin are doing some night wrestling and just trying to trying to get back on the horse. He's just trying to
Right.
catch up, and you see a flashlight in the background because they're doing it at night, which then cuts to Mike doing all that. So yeah, that's him, Mike, walking into the woods with a sleeping bag, and just going to sleep, never waking up.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because I didn't see them find a body. Movie guy rules,
They
no body, no death. So
he's still alive to this day, actually. No, but they showed them searching for the body after. They didn't show the body, and very tastefully so. They didn't show a lot of these bodies except for Carrie. I
right,
think,
but
right?
that needed to happen though. But that needed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Carrie was the big one.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing, right? Since me being a wrestling guy, I did enjoy the Ric Flair actor here, the guy playing Ric Flair. He was fun. Oh, he was so much fun. Have you ever been to a recent WWE event at all?
No.
We went.
The only one I went to was that Texas Tornado one in '91.
We went when they came to the city. We went to Gina Riley and I when she was 3. When Riley was 3.
Yeah.
And as soon as you walked into the arena, everybody was just randomly doing the woos, and it was so infectious that you just had. Ric Flair wasn't there. It was just like it was kind of like like whoop whoop for ICP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just was so like infectious that my wife, who hates wrestling, started to do it. Like it was fun. And this guy was Ric Flair all around. This guy was fun. This actor who played Ric Flair.
I feel like people our age and older, like the Gen Xers, because you lived in a time where these characters were the whole deal, man. They had catchphrases, they had action figures, they had wrestling pillows you could do. If I go up to anyone in the street and say, "Do your best Macho Man Randy Savage," people can do a Macho Man Randy Savage.
Everybody knows who Macho Man is, and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, not even just from the Slim Jim, but yeah. Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, everyone knows a Macho Man, and I will say that aside from all the wrestling shows that they have done, the interviews are just as iconic, if not more iconic. The cream of the crop rises to the top. Oh, buddy, everyone listening to this, if you could just go ahead and YouTube that, you're in for a treat. A real natural showman.
Do you wish you were a little bit older, like pre-teenage, when WrestleMania came to the Pontiac Silverdome and had 90,000 people in there? Like that would have been something for you to see.
Yes and no, because it would have been awesome to see, but it is also at the Pontiac Silverdome. And you're never going to go there. It's been demolished now.
Right.
But it was, I guess, fun in its heyday. I don't know. Those times were just have a nice kind of golden lens over it, and it really just feels better.
Off kilter, because you are a Detroiter. Was the Silverdome known to not be great?
The Silverdome was in Pontiac. It's not even near Detroit.
It's not even near Detroit.
No, if you're going from like downtown Detroit and you have to drive to Pontiac, it's gonna be like an hour.
Oh, really? So the Detroit
45
Lions,
minutes to an hour.
So the Detroit Lions played at the Silverdome, but they were playing an hour outside of the city.
Yeah, and same with the Pistons.
Okay.
They were playing at the Palace of Auburn Hills, which is another trek north, another 45 minutes north out of the city. They all play in the city now.
That's now the trend, right? All major sports teams are playing inside cities now.
Yeah, but before they were not playing in Detroit proper. They were playing outside, and now that they are those venues are quite vacant. They're
okay. Back on track. I was just curious because I don't know where Pontiac is compared. So Zac Efron is not getting any chances. 2 brothers from this movie are dead. His dad, I think, is losing the business, right? Like they're not doing well. The WCCW.
Yeah. I think at this point, didn't he kind of semi-retire and hand the business off to Kevin?
Yeah, but then
Again, this
also,
movie does an odd job of not telling you what time chronologically is going. I mean, it doesn't give you a year. It doesn't give you only sequence events. It's just like one day Kevin gets married, and then the next scene he's picking up two kids from school.
yeah, good point.
Kind of that thing, or it doesn't really say that like one scene Fritz, the dad, owns the business, and then the next he's retired working on his ranch, and full ownership is now to Kevin, and they really only show that jump by a scene, like I said before, or by the sentence to cover it up.
Is that why they kept on showing Kevin sleeping at the office to show, right? Because there were scenes where Kevin would go to the office, the WCC office, where his dad used to be, and he
Yeah.
would sleep on the floor with a sleeping bag. So was that the movie telling us that he was in charge of the business?
I possibly a lot of those scenes that I saw of him were more of him just in a deep grieving
Depression,
depression. Yeah.
right?
And it showed again kind of giving you sympathy towards this character who is just playing the hand that he's dealt and trying to do everything that he believes is right. And so far all this family is they are doing it right for the most part.
I
They
mean, I
just
don't know,
have bad
right?
luck. They just have the curse.
Is it bad luck or is it sins of the father? What is the curse? Talk to me about the curse because they bring it up, but I lost it. So there is a Von Erich curse where I think there's a curse because the dad changed the last name.
Yeah, I think it was something like right. Is that what it is? Hold on, let me read up the ring name Von Erich. Uh,
Because the dad took his mom's last name.
because the dad played a Nazi heel
Oh Jesus!
when
Christ.
when he was a wrestler.
Times have changed.
Yeah, there's widespread myth about the curse. Uh, I don't. Was it just because of the dad believing that there was?
Yeah, it's just because the dad of the curse. Because the dad never got the champion, never got the world heavyweight title.
Yeah, yeah. Again, a lot of this. Oh, there was some tragedies like David Von Erichs had a 2-month-old daughter die of SIDS.
Oh,
So there's a lot of other deaths that are not mentioned in the movie.
yeah, the
Rightfully
2-year-old
so.
daughter. Yeah, we don't really need to have that in this movie. So you know how people say that wrestling's fake, right? And then you have a lot of wrestlers that defend it and say that it's not fake because the moves they're doing are real. It's just that it's choreographed, it's scripted, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was a scene in the beginning of the movie where Zac Efron and Pam are talking in the restaurant, and he tells her what he does, and I liked his explanation. She was like, "Wasn't that stuff fake?" And he's like, "No." And she was like, "Well, the belt's not fake, right?" And what I liked was his description of, no, think of it as any other job, right? Like I do this, and then if I get promoted, then I get a belt, which is a promotion, and then if I get another belt, there's another promotion. And I was like, that's a great way of explaining wrestling to people that don't know that is a job.
Yeah.
It's a job. The big scene that I want to talk about that kind of made me realize that Zac Efron had something in his acting chops was, the brother, right? The bear. David, is that it?
Carrie.
Carrie. I don't know these names. Carrie can't wrestle anymore. His life's in shambles. He has 1 foot. Carrie offs himself by a tree.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately shoots himself in the chest with the gun that he got his dad.
And we have great acting with Zac Efron and the dad, right? Zac Efron almost kills his dad, chokes him out. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Right? I mean, Zac Efron looked good. I believed him. I believed he was trying to do it. He picked up his brother. Very, very good scene. You said earlier in the show that you liked the scene that I don't like, that actually knocked it down a popcorn for me, was when Carrie is on a boat, goes to, I can't even say it right, straight face. He's on a boat. He goes to a little pier, and there's the brothers waiting for him in heaven, which is fine. That's
Hey,
cheesy,
brother.
fine. But what got me going, eye roll city, was when the 5-year-old is there, and he goes, "Oh, you must be my big brother. We're all a big, happy family. Hey, Zac Efron, why don't you off yourself so we can all be together?" Like, that's what that scene told me. Was then just like, because they all like hugged each other and they kind of looked at the camera, kind of breaking fourth wall, if you will. And like to say to Zac Efron, kill yourself now so we can be together.
Oh, geez, I never got that. I got
That's
it
how-
more that these brothers, as it's shown in this movie, had some sort of just tormented, I guess, thing that would go along with them, whether it be just a lifestyle or a thing that they didn't want to tell anyone about, like David's issue where he just figured, oh, it was just some bad fish or something like that, or Mike's issue where he was forced into a job he didn't want to do, and because of it became brain damaged and knew that the thing that he loved to play guitar or play music he couldn't do again, and he would just be kind of this burden. And I felt bad for him. I really did. Or Carrie, where he was constantly in pain. He says that he just, when he called Kevin in the middle of the night and saying that, the demons got all, the curse has got a hold of me. And I'm next. I can feel it now. I just want to die. Where it just sucks. And I've heard this from a lot of different athletes, football stars, and these old wrestlers like Mick Foley, right? Where going to sleep and waking up is a task. It is there's a long thing to go for, because when you wake up, you wake up in pain, or you have to sleep in a certain position first off a lot of times because of how it is, and then you have to roll over, you can't stretch, or your leg is just frozen and seized up because of it. It's a horrible way to live and to go through life at that, and you have to take all these pills before you even take your breakfast.
A sip of coffee.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cursed life, and I really feel for Carrie, because this is a guy who obviously didn't plan on losing his foot. He was going to be an Olympian, for God's sakes, and now he's just getting by. And
right, it was not a drunk driving accident either. He was the champion. He was on his motorcycle going home.
Yeah, exactly, and just unfortunate accident. And I did some research. Apparently, he has 2 kids as well, and one of them is Lacey Von Erich, who is in WWF.
Okay,
Lacey Dawn Atkins, or Lacey Von Erich is her ring name.
Okay, is that her ring name?
Yep, and she's best known for her time in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling.
Okay, so she's not in WWE. She's in TNA.
TNA. No, she signed a contract at WWF in 2007. Doesn't matter. Either way,
she's not around anymore.
She's not around anymore.
And of course,
WrestleLicious, that's a thing. Anyway,
but what you're saying about WWE or just wrestling too, about these guys and their body and how they go to sleep and stuff, that's so different nowadays, which is kind of good. Like right now is a good time to be a wrestler. Vince McMahon is out. I never was a Vince McMahon guy. Triple H is in charge, and they merged with the UFC.
Because wasn't it before that these guys were treated basically like contractors?
Yes. So these guys were all 1099 employees, and again, watching documentaries. I don't know if you care, the audience cares, but let's just pretend. Go with me for a minute. Let's pretend that you're a wrestler for Vince McMahon in WWE in the 90s or the early 2000s. You would do a show, you would wrestle. Then after the show, you and a friend, whoever you're friends with at the time, would go to the local airport or wherever car place you can, rent a vehicle. You would drive all night, sometimes 4 hours, to the next show, get to a hotel, stay there all day, work out, do what you got to do, rinse and repeat constantly. And you would work 300 out of 365 days a year.
Yeah, It's
And
constant.
that's constant. And the reason why the mid '90s happened with the NWO and stuff was because those guys went to WCW because they were promised more money, but working 100 days a year instead of 365 days a year.
Yeah. So it's a rough life to live, and I'm sure that
It's
Kerry, after a
changed now.
while, was just like, yeah, it's a tragic life, man. So anyway, he ended his life, and I think Kevin had the almost like the the fortune to not be as recognized as his other brothers because he got to focus more on his family. He got
Right.
to do wrestling as just a means to get by, and
Right.
not as, like you said, where he's working all year, where he's on the road half the time, where he's doing all this stuff to beat up his body. But it showed a scene where he's doing a tag team, and he's just on the ropes, just kind of waiting to get tagged in. But he's he kind of even getting passed up there too. He's
Yeah. And that's the thing that I call BS about this movie, Eric. And that's another reason why I've kind of just, and with this movie is that, like, this guy has the body. This guy has the look. This guy has the charisma in the ring. So I think this movie is showing me that, that his dad didn't sink his claws into him like they did with the other brothers. Because if he really sunk his claws into him and got him to focus on his mic skills, I think Kevin would have been another victim.
yeah,
To be honest,
yeah.
I mean, I think him not doing good on the mics is what saved his life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So with that being said, do you want to get into our popcorn ratings?
Yeah. To go back to it for
Yeah.
A24, by the way,
Yeah.
A24 has been nominated and won for a couple different movies. Ex Machina, Amy, Room with Brie Larson, Moonlight,
Okay. So
and
they've got
Lady
their Oscar,
Bird.
but they've not won Film of the Year yet.
No, they've won Best Picture. Oh no, that's a nominee. I don't think they've.
They don't have their silence yet.
No, they
Silence
have
of the Lambs.
won Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Actress, Best Documentary. Yeah, not uh, no best feature.
Which I kind of call BS on. There's a lot of films that we reviewed in A24 these past half a decade that I feel are better than some of the films that were nominated for Film of the Year. But
Oh
that's my
sure, oh
opinion.
sure, but they've gotten their their notice here. The Disaster Artist was obviously a big one.
Mm-hmm.
The Lighthouse was a very popular one as well too. So yeah, they've only a matter of time, right?
Mm-hmm. Um, my popcorn rating for this, I always say it's a cop out, but because I don't think it's that great, but it is a medium back for me. I did not like the ending of all the brothers getting together. Reminds me of the Shining TV movie at the end. I'm not going to explain it. Eric knows what I'm talking about. If you who are listening or knows, then you get my irritation. Um, but what I don't like is that every single time, no, like every shot was something tragic. And I wanted to care about these characters for not only their tragedy but also their happiness too.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't happen. Like none of these characters were happy. Nobody. I don't think Pam was happy. I mean, the last.
I think we got it towards the end where Kevin, a very emotional moment with him and his two sons, right? But
Wait, he's crying at the end. I know happy tears, but at the end of the day, though, still crying.
yep,
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't think it's great. We have said Killer of the Flower Moon is a large bag. We've said that holdovers are a large bag. I think we gave something else a large bag. I don't feel this is Killers of the Flower Moon or holdovers. It's not there. There's a lot of great elements here, and I think this is Zac Efron's coming out party. I think he's showing people that he has more. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do if he continues down this road. But for me, I don't think it's that great, so I'm going to give it a medium. So, Eric, what is your popcorn rating then for Iron Claw?
I'm floating between small and medium on this. I'll talk about the things that I liked. The acting was very good in this movie. All the characters did exactly what they were supposed to do. I believed every single one of these characters. It was a fantastic way that they had done it. I liked how they did the wrestling. The shows where it wasn't very like spotlight dramatic. It wasn't kind of this over fantasized this thing. Didn't glorify it whatsoever. It is a hard job to do, and I think I can respect it where before maybe as a kid I'd be like that stuff's fake, or as Pam said in this movie, it's like isn't this kind of well pre-planned kind of a thing, but no matter what it is, you're still putting on a show. You still have to be in top-notch shape to do what they're doing. I'm not going to pretend I can get on the top ropes and do a sideways body slam on a person and be like, oh yeah, anyone could do that. No, it takes a
And
lot to.
stand up.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a lot to learn how to fall, to learn how to do headlocks, to learn how to do all these moves. I give them respect, and I think they did a good job of that. I agree with you that the dad Fritz very much was like Daddy Jackson, is like this tyrannical kind of guy who pushes them to their limit. Doesn't really learn the lesson at the end. I think this movie doesn't really give a whole lot of closure. I think it leaves on a very somber note and doesn't really, like you said, have a whole lot of good points where it's uplifting. Where it's the only part I think that they tried to do was that doxing where Carrie was on the boat and going to the doctor to see his brothers to say, "Oh, they're in a better place now. They're not hurting anymore." Touching as that was, and it was emotional. Same with the end where Kevin is crying and his sons are like, "We'll be your brothers," and it's like, okay, that's very cute. I get that that's tough, and at least the text at the end showed that hey, Kevin persevered, and he's got a
Yeah.
big family now. He had 4 kids, and they have 13 grandkids, and it's like they got a big family. Good for them.
Right. Right.
Um, I I don't know if I wanted to see. I think they left out. You know what? They could have shown a bit more of their wrestling achievements because I've looked up this family, just like we both have, and noticed that they left out a lot of their wrestling achievements in subject for a lot of their tragedy. So I don't know if you could take something out of this movie because you would be going a bit longer then. This is already a 2 hour and like 12-minute movie, so anything more would be hard to cut and work around without making it.
That's short nowadays.
Yeah, you're right on that part too. Uh, so I mean, I'm not gonna
What
look
did
up
you
any
feel?
parts of this like that. Well, no, I don't think I would probably say medium because if someone says, "Well, should I watch it?" Like, yeah, like sure, it's if you're a wrestling fan, yeah, then
If
I
you're
think
interested in wrestling, yeah.
yeah, or just it's just a tragic tale. But that's where I'm leaning towards the small on this one, just because it's like, well, I think you could kind of piece this together without watching the movie. The reading the wiki was more informative than the movie was.
Right. I would totally agree with you on that. But I mean, I wanted to give it a large, but like I said, some scenes really bugged me. So where are you at then?
I'm
Like,
giving it a
where are you
medium
gonna?
just because I liked the acting in it. I did not like the editing and the direction in this. I didn't like the cinematography in this so much. It's not that hard just to put a camera in the ring and just like there you go. I really just enjoyed the acting. That's really everyone involved. I think did a fantastic job of this, and that's really the only saving grace I can give for this. Whereas everything else just kind of seems like meh. It's not that big of a not. You're not missing a whole lot, but
We are never going to review the movie. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what would you give The Wrestler? We're probably never going to get a chance to review that
oh, I
from
don't
memory.
probably a large. Like that one was it was just a good movie, man.
Right, it was a good movie, but the reason I'm asking though is because it's kind of the same kind of movie where there's not a lot of happy moments, if any. It's a very tragic story with allegedly the death of the character at the end. So
Yeah,
why do you give that movie a large and this one a medium?
I think just the direction. I think that there
The
were
overall
there
direction.
were
Okay.
Well, yeah, because again, the other part of it is that I'm following one person in that movie, and this one I'm following a family of 6, right? And that's just 4 brothers and the mother and the father, and they had to cut out a brother on this. So there's a lot of characters on this, and so you have to fit all their stories into this movie, and it's hard to do that. I would have liked to learn more about David. He seemed like a nice movie on his own. Carrie is an awesome character. I like to see more about him, but we got to see glimpses. It's hard to put all these characters in one movie. I think that's what it is that there's just maybe too many people, not enough time.
So there's been a 6-part limited series for HBO.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could do a character an episode per character, kind of a thing. I don't know how else you would do this. Really, I don't without maybe making hmm, because it seems like the big 3 were Kevin, David, and Carrie, right? And it
Right.
seemed like they got the most of the time. And I don't know how you can do that. Maybe take a lot of the mom out and just have her be really a kind of a background character, or maybe not focus on their romance at all. When with Kevin and Pam, like completely take that out, because it's not really relevant to any part of the story. Maybe just put
She doesn't add anything. She doesn't have that conversation with him. That's like, choose me or wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, there's not that stereotypical moment.
yeah, exactly. And it just seems like the only parts where where she's, like, hey, take care of the baby. You got to take care of this baby. Get up. And so,
Yeah.
like, that's not adding a whole lot to the character. So it's a tough decision to make, and that's why I think The Wrestler was a bit easier to go on, just because I could watch one character and his journey, whereas this one, it's overwhelming at times. It's a lot of tragedy. I'm gonna get to see one tragic story of The Wrestler, where I'm getting this one. It's like, Jesus, like, this sucks for
You're
everybody
getting
involved, man.
every direction. You're getting a tragic character.
Yeah, so I don't know how you could do this movie to satisfy all of that at the same part and then give it the ending it deserves. Um, yeah, it's tough. Maybe at the beginning, don't show the dad so much. Just like, cut right
Yeah.
in.
There's no reason to have the 2 boys and the dad, but I'm assuming one of the boys was the 5-year-old that dies in the backseat of the car in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just like, I guess, but yeah, just cut the movie out where Zac Efron's waking up in his whitey tighties. A lot of whitey tighties in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of white tighties in this movie. But I think it is a good decision to have those parts where Fritz is being abusive and being this hard ass to his people. I liked Ric Flair in there. I liked the kind of behind the scenes flavor of how wrestling works a bit. Yeah, it's a tough thing to incorporate all that, and that's why I think this is more of just kind of a Von Erich story rather than being a wrestling story.
Which I would agree with that. Yeah.
So it's hard to incorporate one without the other, but that's why I'm mixed. I'm too mixed to give it anything a bigger bag.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, but
Mediums.
yeah, but I did enjoy the acting of it. I think this was a bit more of an award-bait movie, and good luck to all the other actors in their futures. I hope to see them in other projects.
Yeah, me too. I'm enjoying a handful of them, and it's nice to see some people that I've seen before in the past, like the dad. Eric, thank you so much for joining me for this recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. Everybody that's listening, check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. We have a new episode that's released every Thursday. When you wake up from your slumber on your Thursday morning, you're over hump day, you get a brand new Movie Guys Podcast episode. So you can listen to us on your way to work or wherever you listen to us. Eric, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll be back next Thursday for another awesome episode. Have a good night. Not the issue. So we pull up, very nice place, right? And walk in the back, and all the girls are inside the house. All the women and all the dudes are just standing outside, right? Just standing. There's
Mm-hmm.
no beers in their hands. I walk out. I'm like, hey, fellas. Now, I want you to be here with me. And if I decide to use this for the audience, I want them to be here with me. You pull in, you walk, you see the men outside,
Mm-hmm.
you open door. We're probably what, 2 minutes into arriving, right?
Sure.
Howdy, fellas. How you
Yeah.
doing? Everybody knows me. Hi, Jordan. How you doing? And I see a Bud Light cooler on the ground.
All right.
And I'm like, hey, fellas. Hey, Jordan. I'm gonna get a beer. I go to grab a beer, and I hear, oh, we don't have any. What?
But
What do
the
you mean you
cooler
don't have?
says Bud Light. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we didn't bring any. What? Well, okay. Hey, it's okay. Is it okay with anybody if I go on a beer run? Is that okay? Because I don't know if somebody is a recent recovery that I do not know about. Is that why they're not having beer? I don't know. And they're like, no, yeah, go ahead, go on a beer run. And one of the guys like, I'll go with you. And I'm like, great. So I drive down to Kroger, and I get like 3 cases of beer.
All right.
And
Party now.
get Smirnoff, and there was which I never tried it because it sounds stupid, but it was Hey Dad seltzer. I just like, dude.
You drinking Hey Dads with your Hey Dudes.
Right. I mean, I bought Busch Light. I bought Garage Beer because I knew Garage Beer was going to be the conversation piece.
Yep.
And I brought it back, and all the guys were like, I invented fire. They're just like, oh. And they're like, what's that? I was like, this is Garage Beer. Ah! Garage Beer.
Go. All
Ah!
right. Open one up, buddy.
Right. And all of them. Well, it was pretty good.
All right. Yeah. Tastes like beer.
So from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, it was Garage Beer time.
Jordan,
yeah.
save the day. Save the party.
Now, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
To bend to the will of you, right?
Which nobody was recovering. I didn't know. Nobody was recovering.
Sure. I'll be courteous. I'll put a koozie on it. I'll put a brown bag.
Yeah.
I'll hide it. I won't advertise it.
Yeah.
I won't ask you, hey, recovering alcoholic, would you like to take a shot with us? I'm not going to do that.
No. I was just shocked. I mean,
I don't blame you, buddy. That would be kind of a shock too. And then to offer it up as if these guys had maybe put the idea out there, and to have maybe their partner or whomever else just say, "Oh no, don't do that."